So we're here with Matteo, and I think the biggest thing is what's refreshing about your talk is that it was from a startup point of view. And while we had a few other startups, I just wanted to hear from your perspective, like how important like you hear like 90% of startups fail, right? How much do you think is largely due to the lack of content marketing? Tough to say. I know it's like a weird.
Look, I think it really depends on the industry, right? So I would say I will generalize that uh, a large percentage of startup fails because they don't test enough and they don't have enough knowledge about all the different, online marketing channels that they can leverage to acquire user in a, repeatable and scalable way. I think that applies to most companies. Now, back to content marketing, I think it really has to do with the kind of industry and business you have. So in our case with iPrice, as I was talking about, we are heavily search marketing driven, as most basically meta search. And if you heavily rely on search and on Google, then yes, content marketing is absolutely key to compete, especially in the industry which are more competitive. Uh, think about travel, especially travel, which is insanely competitive. If you don't have a content marketing strategy, I don't think you can compete with the big guys that have huge budget.
Thank you. And again, like you see a lot of these big corporations that are jumping on content marketing now
Yes.
because it's another pretty shiny word that exists in a very buzzword type of dictionary. Like, but from like the one thing that a lot of them a lot that they face a lot is that they have a lot of bureaucracy and hierarchy to kind of fight through. Do you think as a startup, do you think you're at an advantage or disadvantage in terms of creating content for the user? Sorry.
Well, no, I think, look, I think that we have quite a few advantages. So, um, first of all, in terms of decision power, there are not many layers. So the moment we decide that we want to do it, then we're going to invest in it, and there are not too many, layer of decisional power that need to be passed to implement the strategy. That's number one. Number two, I think another big advantage that we have when it comes to especially media distribution compared to bigger brands is that those journalists and media would expect, they know that big brands have, typically deep pockets. So I would think that it would have been much harder to get all the free visibility that we got with media if we weren't, if the underdog and the startup that is known not have so much money to invest in those in those activities. So I do think that we have a big advantage on that. On the other hand, especially at the very beginning, when no one knew about us and we didn't have a brand to leverage, I think then your content need to be even better than what like a bigger brand will have to produce in order to get the initial visibility and build the relationship with the journalist. Yeah.
Thank you. Last question. I know it'll be quick. How like in terms of content marketing summits, like how important do you think it is? It's like a subtle plug-in, for these type of conversations to happen.
Did,
I would say that's the last question. Like
did,
basically,
is
how
that
important do you think this is?
well, I mean, for me, it's very refreshing to hear basically the point of view and the comments, challenges and opportunities, not just of startups, because typically that's kind of the environment I'm in. So I'm gonna keep on talking with other funders, other marketers in the industry. So there's much more. I would say there's probably much more consensus than what you would find in a conference and like this with speakers that come mainly from bigger brands. And at the same time, there's quite some analogies that then you can leverage and then reapply it even in a different different situation and different environment. So definitely very valuable.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.